So, welcome to Login with IOTA. Please feel free to write in the chat if you can hear us, so we make sure that everything is working before we start. Perfect. Okay, so yes, welcome to Login with IOTA. And my name is Tomino, and I'm joined today by Eike from the IOTA Foundation, as well as Kevin from walt.id and Severin also from walt.id. Feel free to write in the chat where you're joining from. It's always nice to see all the different cities where the people are living. So with that said, let's look at what we have on our agenda today. So first of all, the welcome, which we did just now, and then the introduction to IOTA, which will be led by Eike, then an introduction to walt.id, which I will do, then a project overview and the solutions design of our partnership. Then we will have a demo session together with Kevin from walt.id, which will show you rightly how the Web2 flow as well as the Web3 flow will work. And at the end, we will do a short Q&A session so you can ask any questions you're having. So with that said, please welcome to the stage Eike from the IOTA Foundation.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you, Tamino, for inviting me. Thank you for having me. I hope the sound is okay, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Awesome. Is this my screen already? Let's try. Tamino, can you give me the screen? Awesome. Yes, perfect. So as Tamino said, I work with the IOTA Foundation, which is a non-profit foundation, Stiftung, based in Berlin, Germany. And we are more than 100 team members working on the technical and regulatory challenges of crypto and DLT in general. I hope some people from the community are here as well, but for everyone else, I will do a very quick introduction and then hand it back over again to Walt. So the main product or solution that we are focusing on in the foundation is the IOTA DLT and cryptocurrency, which is based on a DEC structure, which is unlike many established blockchain technologies and has interesting properties and advantages compared to traditional blockchains. I don't want to get too deep into this, but generally it allows us to do more elegant things regarding to throughput and scalability. If you want to dive a little deeper, I linked the wiki. We are right at the cusp of like releasing a big update to the IOTA network, which is at the moment already part of our staging network, which is Shimmer, which launched recently, which has the latest and greatest changes of IOTA technology, tokenization framework. Smart contracts will land very soon. And if everything is good and secure on Shimmer, this will be the new IOTA soon. At the IOTA Foundation, we believe in permissionless innovation. So that basically means that we want to create base technology for the public good and then have people build on this and invent use cases and explore use cases that we don't want to really anticipate because we couldn't, right? We couldn't think how things would be used when the web was created. Nobody thought it would be used in the way that we do it today. And we kind of have the same view on this for the DLT and the bordering technologies as well. So we really encourage builders to take advantage of our base layer and explore it themselves. But we also supply some solutions built on top of that. And one of that is digital identity, which is based on the well-established W3C standards, like decentralized identifiers, verifiable credentials and presentations. And the ecosystem is growing, right? The DIF, Decentralized Identity Foundation, is also putting out standards and proposals. And we look at those and see what we can incorporate reasonably, and basically create another layer on top of a IOTA DLT that also then again facilitates permissionless innovation. So then builders can build on top of those identity solutions and yeah, explore the use cases, create something. But we try to think what identity fundamentally should be, right? To see what is valuable and what we need to explore. And we think in the three pillars of identity for people, humans, right, organizations, and things, and try to build a solution that encompasses them all, right? And all of them will pick different parts and will use the technology slightly differently. And there will be combinations of things and people, organizations and people, or just organizations and things, where more or less of the aspects that we anticipate are important. And then again, people can mix and match. And in a push to enable the broadest set of use cases, we recently updated our identity method together with a protocol. So this is now live on Shimmer in an alpha version and will be part of a mainnet soon. And we unlocked some interesting properties with our new method, which are mostly targeted in the direction of full integration with what is possible on layer 1 in the IOTA Stardust, is the update called, in the IOTA Stardust world. So it can interact very easily with tokens, NFTs, and smart contracts. If you're interested in that, I linked a blog post down below that goes into the details and the use cases a little more. But apart from the more crypto side of things that it interacts with, right, that might be interesting for some, but not all. It also has very good guarantees for pure self-sovereign identity use cases where you might not want to interact with all that other crypto layer 1 stuff. It's highly available, very permanent and durable, and will be very easy to work with an addition that you need to navigate a storage deposit, which is not really comparable to a fee, but in a sense that you have to manage tokens, it is a complexity that you have to navigate to bank on those guarantees. You can experiment with that on Shimmer or already. And if you want to dive a little deeper and get in contact with us regarding this, we're always happy to hear how you think that works or it doesn't work, or what you want to build with this, or if we can support. Feel free to join our Discord. I linked it below as well, and there's an identity channel. And if you want to take this to the next level, there's also a possibility to join a X team, we call it, which is like people that want to dive deeper, want to be actively part in pushing this thing forward with testing things, getting access to early versions, providing feedback, and so on. Okay. That's it from my side. Back to you, Tamino.
So yeah, thank you, Eike, for this quick introduction. And I really like it how you try to build everything from first principles and really think about identity and what it means, and how you can enable everyone to build their solution on top of your system with no limitations in that kind of sense, what is possible, because you have all the different base layers there. I really like that. Also, feel free to read further, as Eike already said. It's really interesting. So as a next step, we will now go deeper into walt.id, and I will give you a quick introduction to our site. So what is walt.id? What do we do? So we think about ourselves as an enterprise-grade open source infrastructure tooling for developers. So we are in kind of a sense an abstraction layer. So as you see here at the bottom, you have all this great tech which is now will be enabled, like tokens, NFTs, certificates, credentials, trust services, secure storage, smart contracts, keys, signatures, encryption, you name it. And we build on top of that. So we build really usable APIs and SDKs. So this great technology is easily accessible to developers. And because we believe that Web3 is the next stepping stone, and there will be really many solutions built on top of that. But there are already really great solutions out there, which we don't want to forget about, and we want to also support. And that's why we have on top the Web 2 as well as the Web 3. So you can build enterprise infrastructure and apps which are already out there and add support for Web 3 technology, as well as build completely new solutions and new businesses and the apps on top of that. So let's just zoom in a little bit on this walt.id layer and see what we do behind the scenes. So as you can see right here, we have the spectrum at the bottom, where on the left we have the Web 3, on the right we have the Web 2. And on the 3 is the identity and NFT infrastructure, which is divided into 2 products. One is the SSI kit. And the SSI kit helps you issue and verify credentials and everything what comes with that. And the same thing we also build for NFTs. So you can create tokens, distribute them, and verify them however you like with SDKs or APIs. And then to enable and bring it to the next step, so to the user, so they can use it, see what they have, and also use it for verification and other purposes, we have the wallet kit, which provides a wallet infrastructure and enables any app to become a wallet for identity or tokens, NFTs. And to also enable every app to have a zero trust data storage, we built a storage kit. So you can easily enable any app to have zero trust data storage and sharing. And as already said, we want also, because there's so many great solutions already out there, which will stay also there. And we want also to bring this Web3 technology to them. And that's why we built a bridge to the Web2 world, which is the IDP kit. So it's built on top of the UIDC standards, which means it can be integrated easily and can live next to already known solutions like login with Facebook, login with Google, but now in a decentralized manner where the user is the owner of the data. So you can enable SSI-based access management and NFT-based access management in all IMN tools which are built on this standard. So now the question is, how can you use our products? And we have on our core, we are open source, and all our products will stay open source. So you can take them, tweak them, and make whatever you want with them, build your solutions with it. But for an even more ease of use and also less headaches, we also will soon launch our cloud platform, which makes it even easier to build solutions on top of those products I just presented to you. And now let's jump into the partnership. So IOTA and walt.id and what we wanted to do. And the goal is we want to provide a unified and decentralized login solution for Web 2 and Web 3. And we always like to ask ourselves why. So why do we need that in the first place? And today we have this scattering of information and all these different logins. So you have these passwords and logins with all the different services. So you have a lot of information duplication out there. And then the data is not owned by you, but it's owned by services like Google or Facebook. And that's why we now want to bring this down and make it easier. So we have information duplication, but it's zero information duplication. So your identity, you can use it for all the different services. So we don't need any password managers or something like that. And you are the core owner of the data you're sharing with an application. And it's super easy to use. So you can always connect your wallets. It's always the same flow. And will always stay the same. So it's super easy to use and will at the end enable the user-owned counterpart today's login with solutions. So let's now look at a little bit at the solution design and how it will look like in practice. Again, here we have these two different ways. So on the one hand, we have the Web 2 and on the other, the Web 3. The Web 2 is enabled by the IDP kit, our bridge to the Web 2 world. And on the Web 3 end, it will be directly connected to the wallet. So it's a peer-to-peer connection. And all of that, the identity data will come from the IOTA tangle and will be provided by the foundation. So let's now look at it in practice and see, yeah, how does it look like? And now please welcome to the stage Kevin, who will do the demo and introduce you into the different flows.
Yes, I'm just sharing my screen. And there we go. Perfect. Yes, so we have a couple of different options on how to interact with our base APIs. We support both the Web 2 and the Web 3 flow, and this is what I'll show you in this nice demo. You can simply click around. That's a lot nicer than CLI, I think. So I'll first start with the demo of the least moving parts, which is the Web 3 flow, same device. This looks like this. We have this issuer portal. Imagine this is like your university, where you receive a university diploma credential, or this might just be your governmental authority issuing you a verifiable ID document. But what I'll first do is show you the web wallet where we'll receive the credential to. I'm just going to log in with some example email. You see, our wallet is empty. I just created a new account. And we will now onboard the IOTA ecosystem. You see, we support a variety of different ecosystems like AppCSF, which is the European blockchain, DNS, key, and so on. And what we'll be looking at today is the IOTA ecosystem. I will just click the add button, and you see, first thing we'll do is generate the state IOTA. This is pretty quick. And then we will add it to the Tangle architecture. So it's comparable to registering it at a blockchain. However, this is the IOTA Tangle. It is quite a bit faster than the usual blockchains you might know of. As you can see, this will only take around 20 seconds, while usually at blockchain, things can take starting at 5 minutes. So this is quite a bit faster. There we go. So it was already generated, and we're now successfully onboarded onto the IOTA ecosystem using this web wallet. So this is now the DID IOTA we have generated. We don't have to write it down. So now let's also set this as default. Our wallet supports having multiple ecosystems active. I'm gonna select this DID IOTA as default, and everything's set up. So this was super easy. Just continue this two-step wizard and you're in. That's the onboarding. So now I will visit this issuer portal and I will issue myself this verifiable ID document. And this is now the issuance screen, and we can select where we want to issue this credential to. I will select our web wallet, and we've already been redirected to web wallet. We see the issuance initiation. We see the exact portal that wants to issue us this credential, this verifiable ID credential. And as you can see here, this is our DID. So this is the DID we've just generated. I will accept this credential, of course. And now we can also look at it. So this is the credential we've been issued. It has a bunch of example data in it. And we will accept it. And we have now been issued this credential to our web wallet. And this is, as you can see, issued to our DID IOTA. Yeah. So now let's present this credential somewhere. For this, we have this example verifier portal. In the verifier portal, this might just be your favorite bank and you want to open your bank account there. They will require some know your customer information, and this can easily be shared, for example, using these credentials. So I will simply select a credential. I only have this one verifiable ID, so you don't have to select anything. Click accept, and there we go. So let's zoom in a bit. We see the credential we have shared with all the data we've seen previously in the wallet. Our verification was indeed successful. So all the policies that have been checked against did indeed return a valid credential. As you might know, walt.id has a verification policy framework that allows you to build your own verification policies using Java Kotlin, or even using the Rego language from Open Policy Agent. So we provide you with a variety of different options on how you want to verify credentials. We can also look at the authenticated DID, and we see our DID IOTA was indeed authenticated correctly. So we have received a session token. Okay, so this was the Web3 flow using on the same device, with the same device flow. So as I've said, this is the flow with the least moving parts. We will now introduce a new moving part, which is this example wallet as an Android app. So we now have cross-device flow. We'll reset all this. Okay, we don't need this anymore, and we'll visit the issue page. So of course, in a cross-device flow, you do not have the possibility to redirect the user to a different issuance page, because it's on a completely different device. In this case, we have a web browser on desktop, and here we have an Android app. So what we'll utilize is what you might have previously seen, these QR codes. So I'll do the same thing we've just went through using this Android app. So we will scan this QR code, which is a bit hard as this is an emulator, but we'll quickly go through it. So I will bring the QR code into the emulator, and when we are able to scan it correctly, which is a bit hard with the angle, there we go. We have now been issued this new credential here, this verifiable ID, which is correct. We have selected the verifiable ID here. So we'll now present this verifiable ID to the verifier portal. For this, we can click this QR code button, or this barcode button, and find this new QR code. And we'll play through the same thing. We will bring this QR code into the emulator. And there we go. We are now at the presentation screen, and we can select the credential we want to present. We only have one, so we will present this credential. And there we go. The same thing again. We've successfully presented this credential, now utilizing this cross-device flow. Right, okay. Now, both of these, the same device and the cross-device flow, were the Web3 flow. So we have utilized the SIOP protocol, or the SIOP schema, to share the credentials between the wallet and the issuer or the verifier. However, in the current infrastructure we all run, we usually do not utilize SIOP because it's very new and we have legacy infrastructure that doesn't yet support it. So what we've built is the so-called IDP kit. The IDP kit is a middleman that on one side speaks SIOP and on the other side speaks OIDC. This is what I'll show you now using Keycloak. You guys might already know Keycloak as an IAM solution. So to organize all the different identities on your services. And wouldn't it be great if we could integrate the IDP kit into it? That's exactly what we did. I will show you the configuration. We have the IDP kit integrated as an identity provider. And as you can see, this is a completely normal standard OIDC identity provider that you can utilize in your infrastructure right now if you want to. So let's try it out. I will log out again. And as you have seen, there's this sign in with SIOP button. By clicking this button, we will utilize our IDP kit. So I will click the button and we're redirected to the IDP kit, and we are again able to scan a code. Let's see if I have a wallet I am signed into right now. I have a wallet and it also contains this verifiable ID document. So I click to log in with the web wallet. And I have this connection request. This is now between the IDP kit and this web wallet. And if I accept this connection request, I share the credential with the IDP kit, and the IDP kit encodes this information with OIDC and sends it to Keycloak. And as you can see, in this credential, we had a bunch of data, like the first name and the last name. And using so-called attribute mappers we have integrated in the IDP kit, we can automatically map information that's contained in the credentials to some legacy data infrastructure. In this case, this verifiable ID document does not contain an email address. So Keycloak lets us fill in our email address. I will simply enter some example email. Submit this. And oh, that's the admin console. I wanted to test this application. This is an example application from Keycloak. And there we go. We are signed in already. Let's look at this again. You see we are signed out. We sign in, click sign in with SIOP, use the web wallet, share the credential, and that's it. It's really, really quick. It's a lot quicker than having verification emails and some SMS OTP or TOTP It's really quick to simply share credentials and log into, as in this case, even legacy services that are not natively supporting Web3 flows with SIOP. As you can see, also with our did IOTA here. And now we will play the whole flow with cross-device. We have our emulator here again. So close all this, we won't need it anymore. We sign in, we select sign in with SIOP, and we have a QR code again. We will scan this QR code. Oh, that's a tiny QR code. Let's make it a bit moved forwards. There we go. So we are in the presentation screen again. We select the credential we want to share. And we are at the same page again with Keycloak. We enter our email address. Let's do now. And we've registered at this legacy service. And if we sign out and sign in again, sign in with SIOP, we have this smaller QR code now. And select scan, present the credential. Then we're automatically logged in. And of course, we don't have to provide our email address all the time. So it's just at the initial sign up for the service. Okay, I think that's it. We've seen all 4 flows, Web3 and Web2 flows, cross-device and same device. And I think I can hand over to Tamino now again.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin, for showing and giving us an introduction on how the things then in reality will look like. It was really nice to see all the different flows, also same device and cross device. So thank you for that. I will now give you what we just saw. So on the Web2 part, we had the Keycloak application. So where the user was connecting via Keycloak, and then the verification was handled by the IDP kit, so our bridge to the Web2 world. And then we saw the 2 different options. One where it was a redirect, so on the same device, and the other one where it was on a cross device, where Kevin showed the mobile phone and then he screenshotted the QR code for scanning. And the other flow we saw right at the beginning was this Web3 flow, where you don't have a Keycloak provider in between sitting, but it's a peer-to-peer connection where the application directly connects via SIOP with the user's wallet, or in a cross-device with a mobile phone. Yeah, so what does this mean now for you as a developer? The great thing is you don't need to learn anything new. You can use the login solutions, which you already know, and make just a few configuration changes, like in the case of Keycloak. And there you go, and you have login with IOTA enabled in your application. But if you want to create new applications, so in the Web3 world where you are using this direct flow, we will give you all the tools you need so you can do that, and all the resources from IOTA as well as from walt.id to get a better understanding how these different flows work. We are currently still working on documentation and guides and tutorials, but we will soon then also provide you in our Discord channel with the updates as soon as that is live. So before we go into our next session, I would like Eike to join again. So let's bring him back. Eike.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Tamino. Great demo. Can you maybe jump me to the slide federated Web 2 flow?
This one?
Because what I really like about this solution is that we've seen a complete flow, right, with everything that walt.id has to offer, from the wallet over the IDP kit with issuance portal. But the way that you guys set up a project, it's truly interoperable, right? If you look at the arrows here, what we see with OIDC, SIOP v2, those are all standards. Some are very well established, like OpenID Connect by itself. SIOP is a very fresh standard, it's also still changing to some extent, but it's well standardized. So basically, what you can do as an implementer is choose which parts are important to you, which ones you have, right? The IDP kit, I would say, is a baseline, but you can go the whole range with walt.id kits, with walt.id products, and it will work. Or you can pick out certain parts and roll your own, right? If there's a different wallet, like we've seen, like a very POC implementation in the demo, right? And you want to roll your own wallet, if it speaks that standard, you can use it. It will be interoperable, right? If you get like credentials through another issuance flow that is outside of like a predefined issuance portal, if it follows those standards, it will work, right? You can really mix and match here, and it's all standard driven, which I think it's great. And I wanted to emphasize again, thank you for putting me on stage again, because right, like everybody can create like a walled garden closed ecosystem that feels and clicks like what we just saw, but making this truly interoperable and making the single components exchangeable, I think is a great achievement. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, thanking for pointing that out again, Eike. Yeah, I really believe it's just great if you have these standards, which is supported by so many different solutions out there. It's just great how you can take this one tool and go everywhere and enable it. So yeah, that's super great. So yeah, before, as I already said, we are still working on the documentation and the guides and tutorials, which will all give you then a hands-on way to learn those different things if you want to go really deep. And that's why please join our Discord server, because there we will share those updates and always bring you up to date, so you always have the latest news. And also for questions or anything, that's always the way to go. I just posted in the channel. And also for our monthly developer updates, we will send out also tomorrow our first episode, in a kind of sense, where you get all the latest news about our products and the stack and what new ecosystems we support. So where you can now then add this great technology to. I will also now share the slides with all of you, so you can take them and dive a little bit deeper where you're interested. And with that, we are at the end, or let's say in the Q&A section. So I will bring back Eike and Kevin, as well as Sevi from walt.id. So that you have now the time to ask questions, and feel free to write them in the chat. So far, I think everyone seems to be happy or not having any questions. Also, Eike, thank you for already answering a lot of them during the session. That's great. It's super nice. So I would say, as there's nothing coming through and all people seem happy, let's close this round. I really appreciate appreciate it, Eike, that you joined today and give us this introduction. And also, it's a really nice partnership because we believe also in this first principles approach and really thinking really good about the different implementations and making it available so it doesn't crack in the next few months, but it's really based on a good foundation.
Yeah, I see a question. Another Eike coming in with a when question.
That's our when public.
Yeah.
So the public beta, that's still out to be discussed, but will be started soon. So it will be in a few weeks, months / So it all depends also on the different updates which are happening on both ends. So I can't give a correct date right now. But as already said, we are all also on Twitter. We will always share our updates. So from both sides, you're always up to date in that kind of sense. So there's another question. How are credentials stored on the wallet? And that's a really good one. I think, Kevin, feel free to take that one.
Yes, but I will go back to the question of Eike Schütz real quick.
Sure.
The individual components that make up the whole system are to the largest part already open source at our GitHub. And while we're still working on updating a few things here and there, to some degree updating documentation and guides, you can already play around with most of the stuff you've seen in the demo today. We have example configurations for most of the components so that you can simply clone the repository, start it up, and play around with the features. The second question, how are credentials stored on the wallet? Depends on what kind of wallet you're asking about. We've seen the web wallet today. The web wallet is a custodial wallet, but you can self-host it, as you might have seen. It's open source on our GitHub. In this case, it's a custodial wallet, so the service provider stores the credentials for the individual user wallets. However, we have already seen this example Android app. This Android app utilizes the hybrid SSI kit system, and we are also able to store credentials in a very special way using our storage kit. As our SSI kit is extremely modular and you can switch out all the different services it contains. There are around 20 services, each of which you can overwrite implementation. And we have a multitude of example implementations for all of them. You can utilize our storage kit and have zero trust storage for keys, for credentials, and for all the other different kinds of data the SSI kit uses. iOS support is planned, but currently not yet in the repositories, as we are mainly focusing on the open source systems. However, if there's demand, we will work on an iOS demo too soon. However, be advised that this is currently an example wallet, so it's not meant for production use. But as I've said, if there's demand, we are always working on enabling our users to utilize this new infrastructure we are building upon. Right now, I don't think there's one in the roadmap. This is a complex implementation question. Non-custodial web wallets. I'm sure it is somehow possible, similar to like password managers. So thinking of Bitwarden, for example. To my knowledge, these are, for the most part, end-to-end encrypted. And I think it would probably be possible to build a web non-custodial wallet. However, it is a lot harder than for native applications, except if you build the whole stack in JavaScript and it all runs in the browser. But the browser APIs, especially for cryptography, aren't yet up to the standard that we needed for SSI. So it is possible from a theoretical standpoint, but I don't think we have it on the roadmap right now.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a extension to that and also a bit of a non-answer. This is where, again, the beauty comes in of using the standards, right? So if somebody would create such a thing, he would need to follow the SIOP standard and probably OIDC 4VC standard, and it would work with the system, right? So we don't have to create it ourselves, be it the foundation or walt.id, to work with this, right? So even if like one of the entities doesn't see the immediate value in doing that, or thinks it's problematic or very challenging, somebody could create it and it would interoperably work with the system without any extensions needed, as we envision it.
Yes, indeed. So that's, as Eike said, the beauty of SIOP and OIDC 4VC, that we are able to interoperate with that. For the latter question, credential storage in the case of non-custodial wallets, I'm not sure if this is now meant for the web wallet. However, for the desktop wallet or the mobile wallet, as I've said, we provide the storage kit. The storage kit is a system that allows you to implement zero trust storage using redundant storage providers, having end-to-end encrypted files, and it provides you with the functionality you need for wallets. The whole standard is mostly based on wallets. There are a few other use cases too. However, Storage Kit is actually really built for wallets, and it provides you with features for file storage, like exporting your whole wallet for backups or having redundancy using multiple providers. For web, yeah, I guess you'd have to use like local storage in the browser, which isn't quite that persistent. Or you'd have to work using, for example, IPFS is to some degree possible in the browser using the peer-to-peer APIs, but it is a lot more complex than on native devices, as the browser is a platform not really made for this kind of stuff.
Yep, agree.
Yeah, so thank you very, very much, Kevin and Eike, also for going deeper into those questions. I think it's a really valuable knowledge to have. And yeah, I think we are on time, more or less. So thank you again, Eike from the IOTA Foundation, for joining us today and being a part. Also, Kevin, thank you for this great demo, as well as going into those questions and answering them and providing really great knowledge here. So yeah, with that said, thanks everyone for joining us today, and have a great evening, and see you next time.